Hey, we be doing things a neat way. You don't wanna go through all of this, well that's okay. But if you just stay within your zone, you won't slay. Sitting back and relaxing, privileged like Lil Tay. I'm just playing, we not doing no harm today. Not to any viewers or to me within this game. So just sit back and relax and get something to eat, while I show you what it really means to throw some shade. Welcome to the Season 2 premiere of The Neat Way, a show hosted by a teenager who has more subscribers than you have girls that tolerate you.
I resent that.
Rando, it was a joke. Today we will be taking on Mega Man 7 for the Super Nintendo, giving us a major upgrade from the sordid set of saps that the NES made the devs produce. I mean, just look at the quality of these games. Hey, why are you staring at my avatar? In Mega Man 7, 4 naughty, impatient robots rush Wily out of prison after no response from him in 6 months. And in response to Wily being apprehended, they're apparently interested in breaking the first rule of robotics, which is to not run humans down, nor breathe halitosis upon them. When we start the game out, we are greeted with an intro stage, similar to that of Mega Man X, which released before Mega Man 7 did. We gain access to Rush Coil, which we didn't have last game because it was broken since Mega Man 5 because of how badly designed it was. Dr. Light learned from his idiotic ideas to restore the Rush Coil to how it was back in Mega Man games 3 and 4. And now it's time to start our impending suffering. And it's not like this guy's gonna help, nor will he say anything that'll be of any use. He just wants me to suffer, so he made me do this run for him. Mega Man's moveset isn't that much different from that of Mega Man 6, as we can still charge our shots and we can still slide. As a bonus, the slide reacts to the jump button appropriately this time around. We give the Mad Grinder a haircut, as he really wanted it, because the way to let a barber know that you want a haircut is to throw your hair at them. We then fight this mysterious robot who reveals his name to be Bass and the name of his wolf companion to be Treble. The music references in Mega Man are on point today, boy! Then we move on to the stage select. Unfortunately, we cannot actually fight all 8 Robot Masters right off the bat as we normally would. We first have to defeat 4 Robot Masters, then clear a special stage, then we will have access to the second half of the Robot Masters. Let's go to Burst Man stage first. This can potentially be seen as the water stage of the game with water type robots. After the halfway mark of this stage, we get our first collectible of the game, the R circuit plate. After that, we face Burst Man. It's a rather tricky, precarious fight, requiring us to do pretty precise jumps to get through this unscathed, but once we master dodging his attacks, we manage to burst his bubble. After that, we talk with Dr. Light about what exactly our acquired weapon does. Danger Wrap will encase enemies in a bubble with a bomb inside of it. Let's go to Cloud Man next. This stage has a lot of places where we can easily fall to our doom. But don't worry guys, we're pros at Mega Man. I mean, the viewers and I are pros at Mega Man, not you.
I resent that.
If you use Rush Coil to get up here, you can do some hardcore parkour so that you can get the U circuit plate. Now in this room, we use Rush Coil again to reach this ladder. We go up said ladder into a room where Proto Man informs us about how we can use our special weapons to discover new areas. Thanks for the spoiler, Proto Man! We continue with the rest of the stage until we reach Cloud Man, who unfortunately suffers from Spark Mandrill syndrome. After setting Cloud Man off, we obtain his weapon, which is Thunderbolt. Now let's go after Junk Man. In this stage, if we use Thunderbolt here and use the platforms to head upward, we will get Rush Jet. We can now use Rush Jet to skip the room with these moving platforms we haven't seen since Mega Man 1. Now for the fight against Guts Man, which, with Thunderbolt, is just like Taylor Swift's recent album. It's bland, repetitive, and uninteresting. After throwing Junkman in the trash, we get Junk Shield, which is pretty realistic to how shields act in real life, as the more it's used, the more it goes away. Now for the last of the 4 bosses, Freeze Man. Besides a few scary jumps here and there, Freeze Man's stage is pretty chill. If we go up this ladder and do some careful platforming, we can get the H circuit plate. And if we do more careful platforming in this room, or if we just use Rush Jet, we can get Rush Search. Now if we use Rush Search at this plateau at the end of the stage, you'll get the exit module. Now Rando, now that I got the exit module, I think I could exit this whole run idea thing?
No, you have to finish this run.
Oh, come on, but I got the exit module.
You can't even use it if you haven't beaten the stage yet. Beaten is the best adjective to call this guy if he won't let me out within 30 minutes. What the heck did you just say?
Oh, I didn't say nothing. For no damage purposes, I didn't use Junk Shield against Freeze Man. I just found him to be more unpredictable and harder to dodge with his weakness than without it, oddly enough. But once you get the pattern down that you probably wouldn't get if you were before using Junk Shield, the fight becomes a lot less hectic. The Freeze Man fight is actually a pretty cool fight to watch in my opinion. After breaking the ice with a frozen explosion, we get Freeze Cracker. Mega Man asks Dr. Light for his opinion on base, but before Light lets go of some gas, see the ellipsis, he gets a notification letting him know that the Robot Museum is under attack by Dr. Wily, leaving Mega Man to go stop him. Now he can fart in peace. The Robot Museum has a lot of references to the past 6 Mega Man games. The music even combines the themes of Guts Man Stage from Mega Man 1, Heat Man Stage from Mega Man 2, and Snake Man Stage from Mega Man 3. Even in the background of the boss arena, you can see Ringman and Skullman, who are both bosses from Mega Man 4. And now we fight the boss of this stage, Mash. Notice how I shot him with normal shots when his head was on his body. That's because if you shoot him with a charge shot when his head is on his body, his head would go around the room a lot more sporadically and unpredictably. When his head was off of his body, that's when I used charge shots to do more damage to him. He's also weak to Danger Wrap. This might not be the fastest way to kill him, but this is a no damage run, not a speed run. After Mash loses his head over a humiliating loss and blows up on us literally and figuratively, we gain access to the other 4 robots. Of course, after Dr. Light lets the beans out again. But before we take them on, let's go back to the junkyard. Now that we have Freeze Cracker, we can freeze this lava to reveal a secret path that leads to the S circuit plate. S is for Super Adapter, which combines the powers of the Power Adapter and the Jet Adapter from Mega Man 6. Also, if we go further in this route and use Rush Search in between these 2 vents in the background, we can get 100 bolts. Just slap Ben Franklin on that little bugger. After retrieving that, we'll go after Shade Man Stage. Also, if you hold the B button as you're selecting the stage, it will play music from Ghosts and Goblins, another Capcom game. The stage isn't all that bad, and neither is the boss. You'd have to be either a noob or a really klutzy robot to get your butt handed to you by him. If you use Rush Search under this picture of Dr. Wily, he will reveal the Energy Balancer, which will fill the weapon with the least amount of energy whenever we don't have a weapon equipped. Before fighting Shade Man, we run into Base, who apparently really got his butt handed to him by Shade Man. See, I knew Base was a really klutzy robot. He even let someone like Shade Man beat him. Personally, would not be caught dead losing to that bugger. Shade Man can grab us and suck on our blood and heal himself, which is just mean. The jumps here are pretty tight, but we still managed to kill him in cold blood. Now we get Noise Crush. Now for Turbo Man Stage. This stage is really scary with tight, scary jumps, spikes, these tires with weird physics, and instant death quick man lasers. Get the E-Tank, get the E-Tank. Avoid falling into these tires. It's a trap. That is all I'm going to say. There are 3 secrets in this stage. The first is if you use Rush Search on this platform, we get the Rocket Punch. The second is if you go through this wall in the subsequent room. Proto Man comes a second time to tell us that the Super Adapter disables us from sliding. I kind of figured that out on my own in the last game, Proto. The third secret is if you use Rush Search on this X in the floor, which will give us another 100 bolts. X really does mark the spot, doesn't it? After a hectic fight against a terrible triggering truck, it's time to fight Turbo Man. Alright, we're gonna use Noise Crush against Turbo Man. I'm a savage. If you can time your Noise Crush correctly, you can actually insta-kill Turbo Man. With this strategy, Turbo Man is about as difficult to fight as Coco Melon is to understand. Now we get Scorch Wheel. Now's time for Slash Man Stage. This stage is also pretty scary. Luckily, Technodon is here to help. Close to the end of the stage, we use Proto Man's spoiler that he gave us back in Cloud Man Stage, and we use Scorch Wheel to reveal a path to get to beat the bird. He doesn't fight for us anymore. He now saves us if we ever fall into a pit, which we won't ever do. So come to think of it, Beat's kinda useless in this run.
Did I ask if Beat was useless? This is a 100% run.
I wasn't even talking to you, you thick butthead! Slash Man is a very annoying fight, especially at this part where you need to avoid the tar. If it gets stuck on you, start mashing buttons as fast as you can. You cannot jump when you're in the tar, but after a bunch of failed attempts, Slash Man does eventually get slashed and burned. Good thing you let me use save states between stages.
With your current attitude towards me, you're lucky I'm still letting you do this.
I try to be nice one time and this is what I get in return? And now we have Slash Claw. Now I took a visit back to Cloud 9 to use Rush Search in this area to get another 100 bolts. Then I took a visit to Dracula's abode and killed Van Pooken from the inside of him, which caused him to break the ground instead of the wall. Over here past this wall is a secret area where we can get 100 bullets, and then we can actually fight Proto Man in this arena. Defeating him earns us his Proto Shield. Now for the last of the 8 Robot Masters, Spring Man. This stage, oh my gosh! Springs here, springs there, springs everywhere! Springs on the wall, springs on the floor, springs on the ceiling, springy enemies, springs! After that spectacular section starring springs, we use Rush Search under this yellow star to get a giant full health pickup. Not useful in this run whatsoever, but that don't matter! We spring to this platform up here and reveal another 100 bolts. Awesome!
Are you on some sort of spring buzz or something?
Jump on top of this enemy to make it open the wall on the left into a room with more springs! And most importantly, Otto's Hyper Bolt. Now let's fight Spring Man. Let's spring, man! Is this gonna work? Fingers crossed. It worked! Spring Man's down and out. That's good to know.
Wow, you love to cheat, don't you? I ought to make you redo this entire run for that glitch alone.
Sorry, still continuing. Should've spoke up when I did that with Turbo Man. After springing the Noise Crush of Death on Spring Man, we get Wild Coil. Base destroyed the lab and stole the parts for the enhancements for Mega and Rush, but it doesn't matter as we already have the enhancements. To go to the shop, we press the select button when we're on the stage select. Since we got Otto's Hyper Bolt, all the things in the shop cost half, so here we stock up on W tanks. Now it's time to go after Wily Stage 1. This part of the stage isn't that bad. With methodical use of Thunderbolt, Junk Shield, and the Super Adapter, it's pretty easy. Now Base is in this stage and he heard that I was talking crap about him back in Shade Man, and he's mad. So he wants a rematch. With Super Adapter, Base is about as hard as a ball of cotton. He's stupidly weak to the Super Adapter. After once again proving Base to be a klutzy robot and spitting fire with Scorch Wheel for the rest of the stage, we fight Gutsman G. This is why we stocked up on W tanks earlier. Whenever I see this guy moving his claw like that, I switch to Noise Crush and rhythmically spam it towards him. Not too fast or I'll run out of Noise Crush too soon, but not too slow or he'll grab me and throw me to the ceiling, making me take damage, and we cannot have that here. After that, I use a W tank to fill up on Noise Crush in case he does that again. But he's weak to Slash Claw though. After making Gutsman lose his head, or rather, his arm, we go back to the shop and refill on W tanks once again for some reason. I don't really remember why I wanted more W tanks again. Now for Wily Stage 2. Base wants another rematch. I felt kinda bad for giving him an unfair advantage in the previous stage with me using an adapter and him not using one, so this time I decided to switch roles. Generally, Noise Crush seems to do a lot of damage to Base here. After Base realizes that third time is not always the charm, we progress through the rest of the stage. The boss of the stage is pretty hectic. It's a giant turtle called the Gammarizer. It's weak to Wild Coil, and if you hit its fire breath, it will stun you for a few seconds. Since I'm not allowed to be hit by anything, especially but not limited to his halitosis, it made the fight more hectic than it needed to be. He can also summon miniatures of himself after he breathes fire twice. Then he repeats his cycle. Capcom really took having hot breath to a whole nother level. After that mess, Wily Stage 3 is a breeze. The boss of this stage is also really easy. He's weak to Noise Crush and you can slide under his shots no matter how low the bullets are. After giving that boss some noise cancelling shots, it's now time for the last stage in the game, Wily Stage 4. The stage containing the boss rush and the final battle. I take on Freeze Man before Slash Man because oddly enough, Freeze Man ended more runs than Slash Man did. After those two were down, the rest of the bosses gave me as much trouble as figuring out what color Mega Man's default outfit is. After those bosses are defeated, we get one last chance to fill up energy to our weapons. We fill up our Wild Coil ammo and our Thunderbolt ammo, but I made sure to prioritize Wild Coil being completely filled. Now Wily Machine 7 will give you as much trouble as opening your bedroom door, cause this fight is nothing compared to the final boss of the entire game, Wily Capsule 4.
Oh yes, the part of the game where the crap hits the fan for no damage runners.
I was actually looking forward to this fight. Wanna know how to—
All you need to do is shut up and finish this run.
Come on! If you don't want tips for this fight, just say, I don't want tips.
I don't want tips. I don't want tips. I don't want tips.
You want tips?
No!
A few things to know is that if you don't hit him before he shoots his orbs, he won't spew out electricity on the ground. Also, if you hit him with Thunderbolt before he shoots out his orbs, he'll skip his orb attack and he'll just spew out electricity. Keep in mind that he's still immune to Thunderbolt. He's weak to a fully charged wild coil shot. You can make the coils bounce higher by holding the up button on the D-pad when you release the coils. Other weapons that can damage him are Freeze Cracker and a fully charged Mega Buster shot. However, both only do 1 pixel of damage, while a fully charged Wild Coil shot does 2 damage. How to dodge Wily Capsule 4's shots. Generally, if he appears close to the top of the screen when the orbs move a second time, you want to slide to the side of the screen where you have more space and jump over the orbs. I also use that strategy when he appears here. There's a lot less leeway, but it still works. Another way to dodge them is to jump up to the side of the screen with more space before they move a second time, then slide under the orbs when they move a third time. When he appears in the lower left, what I do is stand a bit to the right of the middle of the room, and when the orbs move a second time, I immediately jump to the right wall, then I immediately jump over the orbs when they move a third time. When he appears here, I do a slight jump before the orbs move a second time, then I immediately slide to the right, then I jump over the orbs. Hope these tips can help someone. After defeating Wily Capsule 4, Mega Man threatens to kill Wily, with Wily reminding Mega that he's just a robot and he cannot kill a human, with Mega telling Wily that he is, quote, more than a robot, and telling Wily to die. What Mega said at the end of the dialogue didn't happen in the Japanese version of the game. After that, the fortress begins to explode, Trouble comes to rescue Dr. Wily, and Base comes to tell Mega that they will return sooner or later. And that is Mega Man 7, The Neat Way. Dude, I cleared the game. Can I leave now?
First, you have to pay me.
Pay you for what? You were just standing there the entire time while I did all the real work.
Exactly. I was super productive, wasn't I?
You were about as productive as a pile of wet soot. Okay, let me find my wallet. Thanks for watching this episode of The Neat Way. Like, dislike, subscribe, only if you want to. I shall see you in the next video. Until then, stay blessed and stay neat.